Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for tuning in to this week's Productive Agent Podcast. My name is Tony Ruiz, and I'm the founder and host of the Productive Agent Podcast and Facebook group. Today, I'm joined by my good friend and unofficial co-host, Mr. Shane Tokheim. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
It's awesome. The energy. We had lunch just a little while ago and just talking, shooting the shit back and forth. And then we were like, what are we going to talk about today? And then all of a sudden, it's funny how we can flip it on and like, bam, we'll talk about this and this and this. So excited to
I know.
going.
I really think we should just do that whole thing live while we're planning.
We probably should.
I think my burger, I can tell, is just starting to hit my, and I'm going to be the unofficial sponsor for Monster, I think.
Well, your whole freaking refrigerator is stocked with it everywhere you go. Can I get a Monster? Get a Monster?
I gotta have it.
Well, right on, man. So at lunch, you were working on your list of people to invite to your upcoming group. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit different. It was your idea, really. I have done it in the past. My first group, 4 or 5 years ago, had some pretty good producers, but it was strictly accountable and less motivational. And so I'm going back to that, and we're going to use the sheet that you and I kind of came up with together to track the progress of people. So I've invited, I think, about 30 people almost of good producing agents that are committed to growing their business, hopefully 20 to 30% next year by doing what we're going to put into action. So that starts a week from Monday, so almost 2 weeks.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It should be good. You're going to enjoy it. It's a good group of people.
I'm a little nervous about it, but I am excited about it.
Yeah.
Holding our feet to the fire and making sure okay, well, if you didn't do it, why didn't you do it?
Yeah.
How are you going to get back on track? Because I think a lot of us agents, go like, oh man, we're in a rut. And that's going to be one of the questions we talk about here in a second.
Yeah.
How do we get back on?
Yeah.
It's okay to have a bad day.
Yeah.
All right. But it can't turn into a bad week.
Exactly.
Can't turn into a bad month.
Yeah. Your boy Simon's in it. And, some people you don't even know, but, you and Simon both have been saying like, I want to be in a group with some top producers. And I'm like, yeah, let's put that together. So I think, and top producers get a lot from it too, because they get to kind of show what they've done. And then they hear your ideas and everybody gains from it, because you're going to have an idea that a top producer may or may not have done, but if they have done it, they might have got away from doing it, and you just remind them that, oh yeah, I used to do that, and man, it really worked. I'm going to start doing that again. So it'll be good conversations.
What I love most about them is when I meet new agents, or not necessarily new agents, but people I don't know.
Yeah.
And I just love picking their brains and going like, what are you doing? And a lot of the times it goes back to the same thing that we always talk about, working your sphere of influence, staying in contact with these people. All that's great, but sometimes it's just a little tweak here, a little tweak there. Like, ooh, I like how you did that. I do something similar, but not quite.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot to gain from being in those types of groups.
For sure. Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Well, cool, man. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I wanted to kind of mix it up and do a Q&A session, right? And so we were texting some agents that we know, texting some people in the business and saying, hey, what kind of questions do you have for Shane? And we came up with some. We jotted some things down. So this episode is Q&A with Shane. And it's more focused, not like we've already done an interview with Shane. Nobody really cares his background and all that. But, Shane works with a lot of agents, and it's more about what kind of questions would you ask Shane to grow your business, all right? And that's what this whole podcast is really centered around, right? Motivate, inspire, encourage, and educate the people in the real estate industry. So we're going to get back to our roots here and shoot you some questions and see what kind of answers you have. Funny thing is, we were talking about this right before we recorded, and you're like, well, you don't know what I'm going to say. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I've been around you for like 3 years. I feel like I do know what you're going to say, but then you surprised me.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this. Let's kick things off. First thing up, here's the question. What skill do most agents lack?
Yeah, it depends on the level of their experience, I think. But I think in general, this is what we talked about earlier, but I think not just agents, I think people are missing the skill of listening. I think listening is the best skill that a good person and a good salesperson can have. And, when I said that earlier, you said, yeah, because you got to ask the right questions. And that's exactly right. So many people want to plug themselves or convince people that they're really good, and that they're the right agent. But I can tell you in my experience that when I've left a meeting and I didn't do most of the talking and they did, those people on the other end of the table are saying like, oh yeah, Shane's a really good guy because he listened to what I had to say. He was interested in me. And so I think I think listening and asking good questions is the skill that some people need to work on.
Yeah.
Some more than others, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I'm a good listener, but when I talk to experienced realtors, like JJ we had on a couple weeks ago, yourself, it's like, man, yeah, they know the right questions to continue to dig deeper.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, like I feel like I have good questions lined up and I get some good information, but then they go real deep and it's like, wow, like, why do you want that? Well, why is that important to you? Well, and then they get to, it's like, oh, wow, that means something to those people.
Yeah.
And when you connect that way with that client, you form a bond.
That's right.
It's like,
and that's really what it's all about. So many people are worried about a paycheck, I guess. And you should be, and you have to be, right? We're all doing this to make money. But when you're legitimately making connections, that's when your business is really going to take off. And that's what I preach, and that's what I talk about in every, like, you're tired of hearing me say. I asked Christina the other day, like, what you want to know. And I go, don't you get tired of hearing me in the same thing every single day? And she's like, no, because it is what you should be doing. And yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, maybe coming from me every time, but
legit connections. I like that for sure. Well, cool. Next question. And obviously, if sometimes some of these might overlap.
Yeah.
But that's we'll see how that goes on. What do you do in your downtime after you have completed your task? And I have a little bit of that, but I'll bounce that to you real quick. Yeah. You go, okay, I need to take care of this A, B, C, and D. Taking care of that, and now you're going, now what do I do?
Yeah. I think maybe why you said it's going to overlap, because when you have downtime, that's a good time just to build relationships deeper with your people, like your inner circle. Like, for example, you and me, right? Like, if I'm driving and I have downtime, a lot of times I'm going to call you just to see what's going on, or Christina, or, people that I'm already close with, but I get closer even still. And you should, I should be able to say more than 2 people, right? I should be close with 10 people or work on getting close to 20 people. And so your downtime should be fun for you, or at least enjoyable for you. And so I think in your downtime, you should know who do I need to connect with just a little bit more. And so your downtime could definitely be used for that. I literally have a list of people. And you shouldn't need a list, but I need a list. And it's okay to have a list of people that, hey, I need to be closer than I am already with them. And I enjoy them already, and hopefully they enjoy me. But I'm going to go ahead and just call them, and maybe they're going to say something to me that'll make me think, oh, I could do this in my downtime also,
Yeah.
You could just call, you and I obviously could call each other and say like, hey, what should I do right now? And we tell each other.
Or what should we do for the next podcast?
Or whatever.
Hey, I was watching the podcast.
Absolutely.
I learned this. And, all those things.
So I get that. And, downtime, I don't know. If I'm downtime in my office, I'm going to use it to connect with my coworkers. And so I go out and build rapport with them, which is enjoyable. So for me, there's not much. That's another reason, getting off topic, but it's another reason why we talked about this earlier. Instead of sitting at your house trying to run your business, get out into the public to run your business. That way your downtime could be like, let's say you take your computer to Starbucks and work like you do. Yeah. Your downtime could be like, hey, to the person next to you, hey, what's going on with you in your life? Meet people in your downtime that's enjoyable, not forced, not because you feel like you have to, but just because you're there, you might as well reach out to people.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm sitting here listening to you talk about that, and it reminds me of a couple different things on the agent side of thing, and I'll speak to that. Is I'm a solo agent, everything about Ruiz Realty, Tony Ruiz Realtor, revolves around me. I have to do it all, right? So it's not just making my calls, staying in contact. I have to work on my weekly email. I have to work on my social media post. I have to work on responding. I have to work on marketing. What am I doing coming up? So there's always seems to be something to do at all times. So that can get pretty heavy, but it's also so making sure that you kind of block those things out. I remember talking to Josh Sigmund and his team, and how like on Friday afternoon, what's her name? His main go-to.
Bryn?
Yeah, Bryn. Yeah, I was drawing a blank. Bryn does a lot of the marketing stuff, right? And she's like, on Friday afternoon, I block out like 2 hours to where I'm just learning about marketing, so that I can become a better marketer.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's great, right? Because hopefully you've taken care of all your stuff throughout the week and you've done everything and you've posted all your stuff that you're supposed to, but it's like, now go learn what's really good. Go follow other realtors online, go watch a YouTube thing, go train. Yeah. And man, I'll tell you what, even this year, I mean, I feel pretty confident with my knowledge and all that, but every time I do some kind of training, whether it's online, whether it's Zoom, whether in person, there's always so much more to pick up.
For sure. I feel like if you just Googled wherever you are, at home or at Starbucks or somewhere in public, if you Google what's a good way to reach out to people or to do a drop by or there's a million ideas. Just adopt one, right? Sure. I always say like, if you sit at home and think like, God, I don't have anything to do. You don't. But if you go somewhere, open your binder or your database or anything that makes you think, you're going to be like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I do have stuff to do. I mean, so downtime is really, I don't know if it's real.
It is and it isn't. Yeah. But I think it's also important that you do create some downtime for yourself, whatever that is. And I know we like to play golf. And you probably shouldn't do it every single day, right? And maybe once a week if it fits in your schedule and got everything done. But having a balanced life, I think that's super important. Yeah. At least for me personally, coming from band directing where I didn't have much balance, we would take off like one day a year and feel super guilty about it. All right, be like, oh my God, I should be at school right now, and it's like, no, dude, like take a personal day.
That's true. If you do need downtime. So schedule that downtime and then don't feel guilty about it. So don't say, what should I do with my downtime? Do whatever you enjoy and put it on your calendar as my time or downtime, whatever you want to call it.
Sure. Like it. So I think a lot of us, I know I've experienced this, and this is honestly how we met. But the question is, how do you get out of a rut?
That's how we met? Oh, because you were in a rut?
I was in a rut.
Oh,
I was in a rut. Yeah, you go ahead and answer, then I'll give you my answer. But if an agent comes to you, Shane, and says, man, I'm just really in a rut. I'm not feeling motivated. I'm not feeling inspired. Just don't really want to do this right now. I'm in a rut. What do you tell them to do?
Man, I think it's like in basketball, they say, we always warm up with layups, right? So start calling some people that for sure want to talk to you and that you respect and that you probably will get some energy from, good energy people like me. I think, if you're in a rut, you call me. I'm not sure if your energy's in a rut, that's a good thing to do, or go do something physical. Like you always say, or, I'm sure you got it from somebody, but motion, what is it? Motion is
motion equals emotion.
Emotion. So if you're in movement, your energy will go up. So do that. But if you're stuck in business and you're just like stuck, you don't have any contracts, you don't have anything coming up, I mean, activity is the best thing for it. You've got to now, like in today's market, if it's a little bit slower for you, you should be doing 3 times as much as you did last year. And I think, like I'm always going to say, you should go through your database and just start reading every name, maybe even retyping it, but reading every name and see if somebody's name doesn't spark something that you could do for that person or a thought about them and reach out to them, whatever it is. And that'll cause, I think, is a snowball effect and you'll get going again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many different things. I know Ninja Selling talks about it, getting into the positive quadrant. And a lot of it is like, mostly it's mental, right? Listening to music, going on a walk, doing something like that. But yeah, I was in a rut, and I knew, and I love this phrase, I don't know where I heard it, nothing changes if nothing changes. All right. So I knew it was like going back to emotion and motion. You know, you see a picture or a video of somebody that's depressed, they're usually lights are off, they're laying in bed, they're probably crying, or they're just literally not moving, you know. And then the complete opposite, somebody that's working out, somebody that's running, somebody that's outside, somebody that's climbing, you know, they're usually not depressed, exactly, right. You know. So it's a physical thing that kind of sparks stuff. Yeah. Right. And then I like going through your list, going through Facebook, you know, doing things that you can do. Like, for instance, I thought about doing a real estate review, going down your list, you know, and doing a quick CMA and just saying, hey, Shane, I did this for you. Just wanted to provide some value. And that usually is really well received. You know, again, it could be a text message. The layups, I was just talking to Alan today about it, you know, get a few layups in, you know, talking about going back and forth, that you know you're going to get a good response. You know, and then that one thing, it's funny how I find myself doing this quite a bit. It's like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. And then I do one thing and it leads to like 5 to 10 things. Yeah,
for sure.
And it's like, bam, 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 bam. And it just starts going. But it's like taking that first step. So yeah, I mean, doing those types of things, physical.
I think people, especially if you work from home, you can literally talk yourself into thinking, I don't have anything to do. Yeah. You know? Until, you get out and you'll find something to do. I mean, just get out. Get in motion.
Yeah, for sure. And every time I go to, I find myself at Starbucks, I'm in a much better mood. Sometimes I'm not even crazy productive, but I'm more productive than I would be at home by myself. And then I bump into people. I bumped into an ex-student 2 days ago. You know, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Start a conversation. And that felt good to them. That felt good to me, you know, and it gives you energy, and then it leads to the next thing, you know. So it's, doing something to snap yourself out of that rut. Yeah, for sure. So this kind of goes in line with what skill do most agents lack. But I know you said earlier that it's usually because they're scared, all right, and uncomfortable. And this happens all the time. I always see you out wherever we're at, and you always strike up conversation with random people. Yeah. And it's just so comfortable to you. How did that start? Yeah. How do you do that? How do you build that skill from going, I'm scared to say hello?
Yeah, it's so funny. I think I said this on the very first time I was on. I haven't always been that way, but I think that I have for some reason, but I really haven't. I guess it comes with confidence. And then, of course, the next question would be, well, how do you build confidence, right? I think being prepared to say whatever you're going to say, but I don't always say the same thing. In fact, I rarely do. I don't even know what's going to come out of my mouth most of the time. Like today, I just told the guy, like, hey, I think I might know you. You know, and he's probably like, no, you don't. What do you do? But I really did think that I thought I knew him. And then he played a lot of golf. So I'm not sure. But okay, so I'm prepared to say, do I know you? Or, there's that other table with the girls at it. That, that's easy.
Are you new here?
Or something. Yeah. Whatever looks like it might be in common. Like a guy came up to me today and he was driving a pickup. I'm driving a pickup, and he says, hey, that's a nice truck. And of course, then I talked to him forever. That's 2 today. And then Christina and I were at lunch one day, and 4 ladies had the same shirt on. And I just go up to them like, why y'all wearing the same shirt? It sounds dumb. And sometimes when I go up to people, they're like,
take them back.
Are you talking to me? And I'm like, yeah. What do you, because I want to know people, and I need to know people. And so do you. So does everybody that's in sales. Right. And so that's really our job. So if you're not comfortable, you've got to learn how to become comfortable. And I think you've learned, like you're learning all the time just from being close to me. Yeah. And it looks easy when I do it, right?
It looks really easy.
And it's easy. Yeah. I don't even have to think about it or anything. Like JJ, you talked about him. He's good at it. Bobby could be good at it, but he doesn't want to be good at it. He doesn't, but I mean, anybody can do it. I always say I'm not something special.
Yeah.
It's just that I've practiced.
It's a skill that you've
It's
developed.
a skill that I've developed. I've got good results.
Yeah, that
from
helps.
it.
It builds
And-
confidence.
Yeah, when you have results, then of course your confidence goes up. You're like, oh man,
Yeah.
that was easy and I'm good at it.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing to be good at. It's just like literally like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I said that at the different gyms that I normally go to somebody. You know, I was whistling or singing or something when I came in, and I said to the waitresses, "How you doing?" And they laughed. You know, they think that's fine. And one of them goes, "How you doing?" Like that. And I was like, "Where'd you get that from? Is that from Joey from Friends?" And she went on to say, like, no, like, what is that?
Yeah.
but so I'm in a conversation then with 3 waitresses from gyms. But you can start a conversation for any reason. You just got to want to.
Sure. Yeah. I as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about, have I done that recently? And I did. The one guy, he was wearing a Chiefs sweatshirt right around in the
That's an
playoffs.
easy one.
That's a layup right there. You know, I just said, "Go Chiefs." You know, and he looked at me and was like, "Yeah." You know, I was like, "You from Kansas City?" You know, and then all of a sudden we're in a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, now it didn't necessarily lead to a sale or a business or anything, but it's just a conversation starter that you never know what that conversation could go, you know, and what it could lead to. So it's little things like that. I saw one dude that I thought I recognized him, and sure enough, I was like, "Do you go F45?" You know, because I've seen him. He's like, "Yeah, actually, I do the photography and the videography." And I was like, "Oh, he's at Starbucks working right across from me." So we started a conversation. And I was like, you know, I might be interested in videography and stuff like that. So of course we exchange information.
Right.
So yeah, finding stuff like that, and then of course working at Starbucks. There's all kinds of realtors working at Starbucks throughout the day. So I, you know, walk around. And I kind of peek on their screen as I walk by, and I'm like, oh, somebody's signing into Sabor. She must be an agent. You know. And it's finding commonality. Yeah. All right. And just striking up a conversation.
I think the hardest part of all that is now you're getting good at starting the conversation. Mm-hmm. Now the next step is being really smooth at getting their information. Yeah. Because, you know, there's not a time you're not going to regret not getting it. You need to get it.
Would you say that you get that information whether they
show interest or not?
Show interest or not, or like you can benefit them or anything? You see what I'm saying?
I don't do it because I don't need them.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
but you do.
You would be going after the agents that you saw.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, I mean, because I've seen you do it at lunch. You say, "There's a table of agents. I'm gonna go say hi."
Yeah.
Buy them lunch.
Yeah,
and all that.
Yeah. Right.
But
so you got to somehow get good at getting like if you and I had a bet that I couldn't get somebody's information, then I would do it, right? Even though it doesn't even benefit me.
Sure.
But just to do it because it's not hard. I mean, but then you do have to have, like you're saying, like, how am I going to show value? Like, why are they going to give me their information? Because I want to be of value to them. Well, then just say, you know, yeah, I do this thing where I send out stuff and you'd probably be interested in it, whether you're going to buy or sell now or later or ever. You know, I'll just add you to my list. Let me get your information real quick. 210, you know.
Yeah. Again, going back to being prepared for the conversation.
Being prepared, exactly.
You know, and having 2 or 3 things kind of lined up to ask.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And again, going back to it's kind of a muscle that has to be developed.
Exactly. That's right.
You know, you can't just
practice.
Not lift and then go lift 200 pounds.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Up, so.
Good analogy.
Working on it. Let's see. Next question. What is the single best thing you have ever done to grow your business? So, I mean, obviously your business is very similar to real estate, realtors. But let's put your real estate agent hat on for a second.
For me personally, it was probably becoming John Maxwell certified. And just before that, for me personally, it's that part of it, but just becoming a speaker and more comfortable in front of a group of people, which makes me way more comfortable one-on-one and just going up to people. That got me out of my shell. Like I was in a big shell before. You wouldn't even believe it.
Really?
Yeah. And so doing that, but to do that, I had to be prepared again. So, you know, the preparation of just speaking to people, like legitimately being intentional about trying to help people or trying to meet people, all of that is still, you got to be prepared. So I guess being prepared to have conversations and meet people and get their information and show them that you could be of value to them, whether that be anything, even if you're not trying to sell them a house or represent them on the purchase of a house, how else can you be of value? Anyway, you can give them a book, you can, anything, just be a warm smile or a handshake or anything. You just don't know what people are going through. And sometimes, like we always say, opening a door, smiling at somebody, saying hello to somebody, showing you care, buy them breakfast, buy them a coffee, whatever it is, just show them some kind of human treatment that's, positive, and you're on the right track. Because Living Intentional by John Maxwell, that's the book that I read first. And that's all about that. And so that's really what I've done. That's the best thing I've done in my career, is start to live intentional.
And how does that help you grow your business?
Because I just meet people. I meet more and more people. And I now I believe in it so much that, you can see.
So what I'm taking away is, that you have value to give.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you what, especially as a newer agent, I always come from a place of value. From a place of value.
Yeah.
You have to be. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Especially as a new agent, I'm like, what kind of value am I bringing? Like,
I don't think it's necessarily of value, but I think it's coming from a place of the heart. Like, just being nice to people. Let them like you. And know that you care about them. It's hard to care about somebody you don't know, but just be real and high and sincere. Build rapport, but
sincere.
I like that. Somebody once asked me what was the best quality that I have, and I said it was my sincerity. And
I like that, because it's like people can walk away and go, man, that's a cool dude.
Yeah.
He's really nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell he does.
Yeah.
But he's a nice guy.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's what I try to do, and it works. I mean, you see it work.
Yeah.
And when I say work, I'm not trying to work something.
Right.
I'm just being
you
nice.
Get a deal out of it,
but
it leads to more connections, more people. Yeah. The whole vibe gets better and better.
Like when I'm at gyms in the morning, like Jahira will always come over, my waitress, comes over and be like, hey, that guy over there asked me what you do for a living. And I'm like, that's so weird. Why would anybody say that to me? Yeah. But they do, because I'm like projecting this just energy and being nice to people. Like when I walk in, you've seen me, good morning to everybody. I don't know you. Good morning. I hope you have a good day. And you always think it's funny, but that's what I do. And
then, honestly, it feels a little fake sometimes, but I know it's not.
Yeah, it's not fake.
And I'm sure.
Like, what's up with that dude?
Yeah, exactly. But it makes them go, who is this guy?
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Like, hey, that's a good thing to have.
Right.
Right. So it's like, I like it.
Yeah.
I think you might have answered this, but I'm going to ask this question again. How do you build confidence? And I think we already spoke on that.
Yeah, I think so. Being prepared, having good results. I know you've heard me say, like, I was in the top 5% in sales and title I like to say in the world, because it was at the number one company in the world, which I'm at now. And so, even on my way there, I didn't know that I was good, or I didn't even know really what I was doing, but to be able to say that it does build confidence, even though I don't say it that often. I just did now, but when I need to, I say that. But it does build my confidence, knowing like, wow, I wasn't even trying and I did that. Yeah. Now that I'm trying and I realize it, I do have more confidence because of that. So anyway, results, being prepared, practicing, that's really what I think.
Yeah. I mean, same thing, pretty much same thing that JJ talked about. He's like, sharpen the tongue.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron, all those things. And practice.
Yeah.
Hey, how would you say this? How would you do this? How would you? I was like, oh, you're getting better at that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. He has a high opinion of himself, and you can tell, right? I mean, so do I.
Right.
That's not a bad thing. You don't be overconfident where people are like, that guy. But, you got to have some level of confidence.
Like it. What are your life strategies for efficiency?
Wow.
I don't think I told you this one.
You didn't. But I think that goes to your daily structure.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm big on the miracle morning.
I could have said that you were going to say that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. You would have got this one right. you know, I always give the analogy of these people that go to the gym January 1st and they think they're going to get in shape, but they don't have a plan. They spend most of their day or most of that workout hour looking around because they don't know what to do. You got to plan your day. You got to get up early and have a structured day and do that every day, day in, day out. I mean, I literally work out at 5:45. 4:45 every day I get up. I mean, I start working out at 5, but I get up at 4:45. So, and I just naturally do that now. So, you know, it's all about habits, developing those habits. What was the question again?
Yeah, just strategies for creating efficiency with your time.
Yeah. So one of the other things we talked about was downtime. Yeah, I do have downtime, but it's because I'm already done. Like I'm so efficient through the morning from 7 until noon or 1. I'm very efficient because I know what I'm going to do and it's done. So the rest of the day, you could call it downtime, but I still make a lot of that time. But I'm done. I mean, I have it done. I'm efficient. I get more done in those 5 hours or whatever that is than most people do in their whole day. So that it behooves you, but especially an agent, because you've got show houses or whatever in the afternoon. So you got to get your lead generating done in the morning.
I love the phrase of plan your work and then work your plan.
Exactly.
You know, and I know when I do that, man, it's a great day.
Yeah.
I just like bam, bam, bam. Like, holy crap, done. Right. I knocked out all what I needed to do. And then of course there's time to do the other stuff, you know, and then of course Ninja Selling talks about work on your business in the morning so that you can work in your business in the afternoon, because that's usually the showing the houses, the appointments, all those types of things. But sometimes that, you know, can get in the way. But if you figure out, going back to your daily structure, that's super important. And I mean, I could literally go back since January 1 of this year and look at my calendar and go, was it really detailed? Then it was a really good week. Was it really blank? Then it wasn't a very good week.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it wasn't planned. And because there's plenty of time, especially we get so distracted with all kinds of things, whether it's business, work, and family, whatever it is, that if it's not there, you're going, what the hell should I be doing right now? You know, and then and sometimes I'll pull up my calendar and be like, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing right now during this hour.
Also, if you don't have your past clients and your SOI, your database typed out where you can see it, you're going to fail. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I say that over and over and over again. People still don't do it. And so why would you want that? Well, you want it. I have mine right here. You know, I mean, so you can look at it and see, like, who haven't I talked to? Who can I talk to? What do I need to be talking to? I mean, that's a must. And so if you don't have that, go do that today.
Yeah, that's good. Or if you don't have that, pull it up on your phone, right? Sometimes we forget that it's literally in our hand, except we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. It's like, go to your contacts and scroll through your names and go, oh, I haven't talked to them in forever.
Yeah.
Boom.
But that's the problem. If you leave it in your phone, you're always going to do that. Like, oh, I haven't talked to them forever. No, write it down and check them off. Keep track.
Yeah. Last question. We'll wrap this up. If you were to start over today, what would you do differently?
Oh, man, I'd do a different field for sure. I'd be either a lender or a realtor, one of the two. You know, I would do what we've been talking about. I wasn't.
Let's spin that real quick, because you've talked about that quite a bit, and you're like, you know what, I might retire in a few years, and I might go get my license in real estate, or get become a loan officer. So if you were to become a real estate agent next week, what would you do?
Dude, I'd call everybody I know for sure. And I'd talk to them about real things. Just connect. You know me, I'm a little more aggressive than most people, but I would let everybody know that I'm a real estate agent, but I also have been in the real estate industry for 21 years. And so, you know, you can trust me with anything and anybody that you're going to refer me to. And I would start with, 10 or 20 or 50 of my closest friends that aren't realtors, and let them know, like, hey, give me 10 referrals. I promise you I'll take care of you, number one, but also I promise you I'll take good care of them. And I want you to now, what do you call that? Triangle introduce?
Triangle of trust.
So you're going to call them, let them know I'm going to be calling them.
Or a three-way text.
Yeah, something like that. And then I'm going to call them. I mean, I'll call them.
Yeah.
And everybody I know knows that I'm going to call them. If I say I'm going to call them, I'm going to call them. So that's what I do, dude. I mean, it would be on. That's why I like these groups. Yeah. Why aren't we doing that? Let's go.
So you mentioned that like, oh, I've been in the real estate industry for 20 plus years. You can trust me with anything. What if it's a brand new agent? I mean, probably the same thing, but what would it be different?
Would it be? Probably depends on their relationship, I guess, with their 10, 20, or 50 people that they're going to reach out to. But if you should be reaching out to 10, 20, or 50 people that know, like, and trust you enough that you can say that to. Right. And so, maybe you don't have any experience, but you're still an experienced human being that can be trusted. Right. You might not know what to say, but you don't have to know what to say. You just want to, get them in your circle or your SOI and let them know, like, hey, I'm going to be reaching out to you with these things of value, or, I don't know what you want to say. I'm just a talker. I would just talk and make friends with people. Yeah. Some people need to have something of value to say, like, I'm going to do a CMA for you or whatever it is. All of that's good. Yeah. Every person is different. I always talk about, there's this one guy that has little to no personality, but always had 20 listings because he was diligently calling people. And so anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. I'm nothing special. Nobody's better than another person. It's just the activity that you're willing to do to make you successful. Yeah. That's really it. I'd just be super active. If that's the question, what would I do differently? I'd be more active, more prepared, and more willing to have those conversations than I was 22 years ago. Yeah. That's what's definitely different about me. But I can't go back and change that. But if I could, that's what it would be. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool, man. So that finishes our questions. Just to wrap up anything, is there anything that you want to drive home? Any one or two takeaways for this episode that you really want to make sure that people walk away with? I think that what I just said, that last question, whatever that was that you asked me, it's not really what I would do differently. It was what I would do, if I was an agent. Don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared about. Take action. Take massive action. If you want to be successful, if you want to make more money, if you want to be of value, if you want to be a trusted friend, then you've got to take action. Don't be scared. And if you are scared, get better before you do it. And how do you get better? Call me. I'll help you. I promise you, I'll help you. Yeah. I can tell you, you and I have conversations. My coworkers at the office, we have conversations. Christina and I have conversations where I just say something that you should say to somebody. And then they're always like, what was that? And I'm like, shoot, I don't know. I'm not saying it for a script. I'm saying it because I'm a real person that cares about people. And that's really all you got to do. So go out and do that. Yep. It's pretty much that, right? Yeah. Just create those great relationships. Yeah. Talk to people and stay connected. Yeah. Well, cool, man. That's all I got. We'll wrap this thing up, and then we'll hop on here in probably about another month and have more questions to fire at you. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, give it a like, give it a share, share it with a friend. Let us know what you think. Leave us a review, give us a rating. That really helps the podcast grow. And if you're an agent, I highly recommend that you join the Facebook group, The Productive Agent. You could also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We thank you for joining us today. Now let's get out there and go produce.